Governor Ramolona says the dollar is strengthening, and that's true when you look across the Asian markets today. Most of the Asian currencies weakened, but at the same time, talk us through the significance of the fact that it fell below that critical 58 mark.
Well, that's true, no? We're observing a strong dollar, but it's not just the strong dollar. While the US dollar strength remains a factor, we have a trade gap as well, no, to contend with. No? So that also contributes to the peso's depreciation. So trade gap, which means imports are outpacing exports. So that means locally, there's more demand for dollars, no? So to fund those activities. So that actually also contributes to the weakening of the peso. Also, there are other domestic factors. We heard Governor Remolona say last week that there's a chance that the BSP will be cutting ahead of the Fed. So that also actually might be a contributing factor to the weakness of the peso today.
All right. Well, the BSP governor did not seem too ruffled. I'm just worried that I do remember when the last time this happened, and of course, policymakers had to, release a lot of money to kind of calm the peso and keep it like steady. Do you think we're gonna hit that point again, or are we, going to ape how BSP Governor Remolona is and just keep cool?
Well, whenever a central bank that's ahead of the Fed, there's always that risk that we might see a depreciation. The reason for that is we have to maintain the certain, we call this the interest rate differential. So Fed's interest rate is around 5.5%. Our interest rate is 6.5%. No? So that's a 1% gap. So 2022 comes to mind when we saw the peso depreciate to near 59.9. I think 59.9 is the lowest that we got. And that is because the interest rate differential actually narrowed. The Fed was hiking while we weren't. So the rhetoric back then was that let's let the market decide. No? So that interest rate differential actually narrowed when the Fed was hiking relentlessly and we were staying put. So that actually led to, if you have assets, why would you keep it in peso when the dollar is actually very close, or the interest rate of the dollar is very close to our own? No? So that actually leads to capital outflows. So that's the risk we run if we cut ahead of the Fed. No? Well, up until today, last week, I guess the governor was quite confident that there's just going to be a minor effect towards the peso. No? But yesterday's event and today as well actually showed that the peso might not be as strong as we believe because so that actually that dovish BSP sentiment likely carried over up until today, especially with the US Fed officials maintaining their hawkishness, meaning they're saying that they want to maintain elevated interest rates in the US in the meantime because of their inflation problem as well. So we have a dovish BSP and hawkish Fed, and it's not helping that the peso's weakness or the contributing factor, or the big contributing factor to the peso's weakness is actually a stronger US dollar. So if the Fed continues to maintain that hawkishness, you can see a depreciation of the peso. But I do think that they will be defending at a certain level. They'll let it weaken a bit, but I guess we have very ample foreign reserves. We call it the GIR, international reserves, and part of that is used to control the volatility in the exchange. So that's where we are right now.
Dan, is 60 pesos to a dollar in the cards? How likely are we to hit that? And how can economic managers arrest the weakness of the peso?
Yeah, actually, that's a tough question to answer, but we still have that uncertain trajectory. we have to watch out for how the US dollar will react when the minutes of the Fed meeting comes out tomorrow. So that's one factor that could turn the fortune, so to speak, of the Philippine peso. The other thing is, you mentioned how the economic managers can help control this. Well, we're only left towards monetary policy in the meantime. No? So the government can uh, implement policies to, well, as I said, they can use the international reserves for one. Second is we have to be able to plant that seed wherein we we won't be able to become restless in terms of where the peso can be. No? So the government can implement policies to improve the trade gap and attract foreign investments. So because those inflows from foreign investments will be very helpful as well in terms of strengthening the peso again.